Hello there, good morning. Welcome to Breakfast with Sally Nugent and John Kane.
Our headlines for you today. John, thank you. The United States has proposed a UN Security Council draft resolution calling for a temporary ceasefire in Gaza, while warning against a major ground offensive into Rafah. Our correspondent Jenny Hill joins us from Jerusalem. Morning, Jenny. What more can you tell us? The family of Alexei Navalny say his body will not be released now for 2 weeks. The death of the Russian opposition leader in prison was announced last week, and his widow has since accused the authorities of hiding the body. Our Eastern Europe correspondent Sarah Rainsford joins us now. Sarah, what's the latest information that you have? 3 young children found dead at a house in Bristol have been named by police. 7-year-old Faris Bash, his 3-year-old sister Juri and 9-month-old baby Mohammed were discovered by officers responding to a welfare call shortly after midnight on Sunday. A 42-year-old woman has been arrested on suspicion of murder. Our reporter Fiona Lambdin has the latest. The Attorney General is set to announce whether judges should review the sentence of a man who stabbed 3 people to death in Nottingham last June. The Prime Minister is set to announce a £220 million package to support farmers to increase productivity when he addresses the National Farmers Union conference today. The NFU have welcomed the funding, but say it's not new money. Our environment correspondent Jonah Fisher has the latest.
Now, researchers in Australia have discovered the fastest growing black hole ever recorded, which swallows material equal to the mass of our sun every day. That is bright. I'm facing a black coffee hole this morning as well, because the canteen's not open for some reason. Our brilliant canteen staff aren't here.
Oh, just apologies if we're not completely quite firing on 100 cylinders at the moment, because it's not.
I'm worried about how we're going to get through the next 2.5 hours.
I'm worried about you, John.
I know, could get nasty. Carol can help us out. Amazing pictures.
Yeah, scary. Let's have a look at this morning's front pages, shall we? We're going to start with the Telegraph.
There's an interesting health study in some of the papers this morning, which is good news for you.
Oh.
And not such good news for the blokes around.
Oh.
Because basically this has been done in Australia, 500,000 people they've looked at. And they've worked out that if you and I do the same amount of exercise, you will benefit twice as much as I will.
Wow.
In other words, I will have to do twice as much exercise to get the same benefit.
So it's good news for women. So does that mean you just have to work harder or do different things?
It's about the time. It's not just about what you do. It's about the time you spend, apparently.
Is it something like 300 minutes a week?
Yes, the blokes, but you would get the same benefit out of just 140 minutes.
Marvellous. Marvellous.
So if we were to go to a run together, which is never going to happen.
Yes, might happen.
You could stop halfway around.
And you'd need to keep going.
It's amazing, isn't it? I mean, some of these health studies that you get seem a bit spurious, but this is 500,000 people they've studied over 20 years. So
wow.
Seems kosher, yeah.
Better get running.
Also, NASA are looking for Martians.
Oh, OK.
Do you want to apply for a job?
What, on Mars?
They want to, kind of on Mars. They want some volunteers to pretend they're living on Mars. It's actually in a warehouse in Texas. OK. And they simulate it, and you learn to cope with limited resources.
But would you be on your own?
No, with 5 other people.
Oh, that's fine, as long as you've got company.
Get Nina and John, Carol,
we can all go. Let's do breakfast from there, shall we? From Mars. No. Now, it is 26 minutes past 6. Last summer, the Prime Minister apologised for the historical treatment of LGBT veterans who were sacked or forced out of the military for being gay.
An independent review recommended that the government could award compensation, but 7 months on, many of those affected still haven't received any money at all, as our LGBT and identity reporter Josh Parry explains.
Much more coming up here in the next half hour on BBC Breakfast, but now at 6:31 it's time to get the news, the travel and the weather where you are.